Hello and welcome. I'm your host David Hoffman, and today we're going to be taking a look at a demo board from Renesas. Renesas was giving away these demo boards, and I received one in the mail a few days ago. Now this video is only an introductory look at the board and some of its features. However, I will be exploring the demo board further down the road and sharing my experiences. Okay, let's start with a quick unboxing to see what comes with the kit. We get the board, of course, a cute little mini DVD, a little screwdriver for adjusting the precision potentiometer, and a USB cable to connect the board to a computer. Now I have to say that my first impressions of this board are positive. I love all the connections available, though I'm not overly fond of the lack of labeling for each connection, which pretty much means looking at the datasheet to discover what any one connection does and then counting carefully to find the right pin. Can you say tedious? So what do we have here on the board? Well, we have a R5 F100LEA microcontroller, a number of jumpers that are currently a mystery, a precision turn potentiometer, 2 LEDs, and USB connectivity circuitry. The documentation included with this board is just a little bit extensive. How extensive, you ask? Well, the manual for the MCU is only 1,024 pages long. Okay, it does cover a wide range of MCUs in the family, but a 1,000 page manual is a bit, just a bit mind you, daunting. Okay, to be fair, the manual does cover about 182 MCUs in this large family of MCUs. But I could be wrong about that number, as I didn't want to count them again. Now, one thing I do want to mention about the board before moving on is that some functions are controlled by solder bridges on the board, and one of these is the power selector. So if you want to power the board from an external source other than the USB port, you have to close this solder bridge right here, and if you do, you can't use the USB port while the board is powered externally. It can and most probably will damage the board. I really would like to have seen a jumper here or something that would have made just going from one power source to another a piece of cake. The MCU has a number of interesting features that I feel warrant mentioning in this video, and the one that jumps to my mind right off the bat is the inclusion of a real-time clock. I simply love this and can see so many possibilities. And of course, the MCUs in this family come in a lot of different flavors. Okay, let's move on to installing the software, which turned out to be an adventure all in itself. Since I wanted to check things before recording the actual installation, I started the process without recording it. Well, that turned out to be a mistake, and I started recording about 2 minutes into the process. The first thing that happened is I had to update Microsoft Net Framework. This process took several minutes, and for a bit I began wondering if the computer had crashed. But no, it was just slow. The rest of the installation consisted of agreeing to the license, installing the demonstration board's demonstration software. This part of the install was painless. However, installing the IAR Systems embedded workbench was a little bit on the tedious side. Before I could install, I had to register for a license key from IAR's website. Once registration was completed, I received a license number and a license key that I had to enter into the registration window for the software. And then I was permitted to install their software on my computer. How very nice of them. Next, MS Visual C++ 2005 Redistributable was installed. And then finally, I thought it was done. But there's one more step before the demo board can be used. Can you say driver time? Installing the driver isn't hard and only took a few moments to accomplish. And to make sure everything was working correctly, I checked the device manager to make sure the board showed up. And it did on COM3. With the grueling marathon of an installation complete, let's now take a look at the RL78 G13 demonstration program and see what this puppy can do. The demo program consists of 5 tabs, each of which illustrates a different feature on the demo board. The first tab shows us what COM port the board is connected to, and on the bottom half of the page we have a real-time clock display, voltage being supplied to the MCU's ADC via the demo board's potentiometer, and the operating temperature of the board, though I'm still unsure if the temperature sensor is part of the MCU or part of the board. something I intend to discover shortly. On the next tab we have the real-time clock interface. Pressing the sync button will sync the demo board with the computer's internal clock. So let's go ahead and sync the clock to the computer and see if it works. And it does. The clock on the demo board is now synced with my computer. We can also play around with RTC interval interrupts, and I intend to down the road. There's also a simple alarm demonstration that we can try out. So let's go ahead and set the alarm for the next minute on the real-time clock and see what happens. Well, it looks like it works. I can already see some cool uses for this MCU. Now, we're off to the memory demo tab. When activating the 64-byte flash memory demo, the MCU will store the current voltage reading from the potentiometer, as well as the current temperature reading to the flash memory at regular intervals. Below this is the data RAM demo, where we can write values to the data RAM and read them back. The next tab is where we can explore the power-saving features available on the MCU. On the last tab we have access to the self-testing functions as well as memory protection features. There's also a system clock read function that, when enabled, will display the current clock frequency of the MCU, a feature that I really like. Nice touch, guys. I'm really curious to know just how flexible this demo GUI might be with custom code. Now, I haven't covered nearly everything that this microcontroller can do, nor all of its features. Overall, I like the board and I'm looking forward to doing some experimentation with it to learn more about this family of microcontrollers. If you would like to learn more about this demo board, follow the link in the description of this video to Renesas' website. I hope you've enjoyed this introductory video, and thanks for watching.